Hello everyone, this is Kaushal Jha. So first of all, I would like to welcome everyone in this post-GATE guidance session for IIT Madras, in which we will discuss about various courses offered at IIT Madras, the specialization area, research topic and available facilities, admission procedure, previous year cutoff, total number of intakes in different courses. So before proceeding further, I would like to take your 1 minute to explain about us. GATE Aerospace Academy is an institute dedicated only to GATE Aerospace Engineering. We are providing 4 kinds of course: GATE Aerospace Classroom Program, Online Program, Postal Program and Test Series Program. As we are dedicated only to GATE Aerospace Engineering, we have produced phenomenal results from Classroom Program. So most of the rank listed here are from actual coaching program, and for registration you can contact us on phone number given on the screen. Now let's start this session of post-GATE guidance for IIT Madras. So IIT Madras is a residential institute with nearly 550 faculty and 8,000 students and 1,250 administrative and supportive staff and campus of about 250 hectares. The campus is located in the city of Chennai, Tamil Nadu, previously known as Madras. The institute has 16 academics departments and few advanced research centers in various disciplines of engineering and pure sciences, with nearly 100 laboratories organized in a different pattern. IIT Madras has been the top-ranked engineering institute in India for 4 consecutive years. So last year in NIRF ranking, for overall position, IIT Madras got first position. For engineering, IIT Madras got again first position. And for research ranking, IIT Madras got second rank after IISc. And for innovation, IIT Madras got second rank after IIT Kanpur. The Department of Aerospace Engineering at Indian Institute of Technology Madras was established in 1969. Currently with 34 faculty and 11 support staffs are there. So these are the programs offered by IIT Madras. That is BTech of 4-year dual degree, means BTech plus MTech. Master of Technology, MTech. Master of Science, MS, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, and Web-enabled MTech. Okay, let's welcome Sai Chandu, who is joining us from IIT Madras. Sai Chandu is currently pursuing MTech Aerospace Engineering in Aerodynamics Specialization at IIT Madras. As he is currently studying there, so he will be able to explain the present scenario in a better way. So we will discuss about courses after BTech and GATE exam, that is MTech and MS PhD by research. So total 18 departments of IIT Madras is offering MTech in 31 MTech program as of now. So MTech is 2 years or 4 semester credit based program. For aerospace engineering department, you need to be graduate in aerospace aeronautical engineering or other related department like mechanical, civil, etc. For regular candidates, admission is based on GATE score, and for sponsored candidate, it is based on test followed by interview. So during first year of MTech, there will be coursework. So core and elective coursework will be there, and then mainly project work in second year. So let's hear more about this from Sai Chandu.
Hello sir, hello everyone. So as sir said, there are 3 courses that are offered, 3 degrees that are offered, MTech, MS and PhD. So let's go in that sequence only. First about MTech. In MTech, again, largely all these things are with aerospace and background, but they do generally apply to almost all the courses that are offered here. So first is MTech is divided into 2 categories. One is HTTA and non-HTTA. So in HTTA, you would be under HTTA category, you would be given a stipend of around 12,400 rupees per month. For that, you will be stipulated to do TA work of about 8 hours per week. And in non-HTTA, you will not be required to do any of that sorts, but you will be also be not given any stipend. So, but doesn't matter if it's HTTA or non-HTTA, the coursework and degree, everything will be the same. The only differentiator is your 8-hour work, 8-hour per week TA work and the stipend that you'll be getting. And coming to the coursework part of it, again, as I said, it's a 4-semester program, where the first 2 semesters are primarily into your coursework and the next 2 semesters are into the MTech project. So now, for aerospace, this is how the courses are. So in the first semester, largely everything is core course and all the courses are compulsory. So you have around 5 core courses, namely aerodynamics, compressible fluid flows, mathematics, propulsion and structures. While 4 of them are 9 credit courses and one is a 12 credit course, and you have a laboratory course, which is a 3 credit course on aerodynamics. And there are also other auxiliary courses such as GN5, which is a personal and professional growth, which is a compulsory course. And then after the first semester, in second semester, there is a bit more flexibility. As you know, initially IIT Madras doesn't offer any specialization, so this is where you start to go into your specialization. So you'll be given 3 electives, but there are still 2 core courses under this. So again, the electives range from numerical to experimental. So there's a wide range of electives that you can choose from. And the 2 core courses are flight mechanics and aircraft design. The aircraft design is again bifurcated into initially the design stage, then you do the structural design and then the fabrication part. And then and then the next 2 semesters are largely your MTech project. And during the summer after the second semester is generally where you give your MTech project proposals. A thing about MTech is again MTech and MS both have an option to upgrade to PhD. MTech you can upgrade to PhD given that you have a CGPA of about 8 and above. Again, this largely depends on your interest and the guide that you're working. Then you have MS and PhDs, which are largely research-oriented ones. The coursework is a bit more relaxed as compared to MTech. MTech, as you have listened now, the coursework is a bit more hectic. So that is not the case in case of MS and PhD. So the intake for MTech, whereas it's one time a year, for MS and PhD is twice a year. So once is in August and then the next one is in January. The MS entry is through GATE and then interview here at the department. Again, this interview and the panel is largely based on your specialization and in what area you want to pursue your MS degree. And PhD is largely an interview and test, the entry scheme. And there is a thing called direct PhD also. For it, the requirement is you need to have a CGPA of around 8 or above. And this is the current scenario, but you can always look into the updated brochure which IIT Madras will put up on their admission site as they start the procedure. So this is about the programs that are offered and a bit of details into what is in each of these courses.
Okay, Sai Chandu, you don't have any project related work in the first year, right?
Again, sir, this is largely based on students and guide. If in the first semester only you are very much interested in different things and you want to start off, you can approach a guide if the guide is or a professor if they are okay with it. I have seen some students start off from the first semester only, but largely it's not recommended because the coursework itself is very hectic in the first 2 semesters. And a lot of my friends have started off in the second semester with the projects and stuff. So yeah. Because it is generally not recommended by a lot of people. But if they wish to, they can start off in the first semester.
So one benefit at IIT Madras is student can choose their specialization after first year and after first semester too when they select their guide for MTech project. So they get time for making a decision in terms of choosing specialization, unlike the other IIT like IIT Bombay and IIT Kanpur. So there you have to select the specialization even before the admission also. But here at IIT Madras, you can just decide after first semester that what is your interest, right?
Correct. That's one of the key reasons why for me choosing IIT Madras was like a factor. That was one of the key things, that it gives you time to really think about it and then go into the specialization.
And we talked about the coursework, that is the core and elective. So core is compulsory and the elective coursework is like you can choose the coursework from other department also. Is it like that? Like for example, if I'm interested in gas turbine subject, and if it is not there in aerospace engineering at that time, then I can choose that subject from mechanical department also. It is true?
Yes, sir, you can. And again, one thing I forgot to mention during my lectures is that again, if you approach your guide by the first semester end, then your guide can, like, you can ask your guide to have inputs in your electives, but largely it is driven by what your interests are, and also what your guide wants. And as sir said, if a certain course is not available in your thing and it is available in another department, yes, you can enroll in those courses. And I have friends here who are currently doing courses from other departments also.
Mhm.
Yes.
Now coming to the admission procedure for MS and PhD. So there is different method for the selection as compared to the MTech, where the selection is entirely based on GATE score. But for MS and PhD, first of all, the respective institute will conduct test, written test, and then interview. And there is no fixed duration for MS and PhD. As you can see that for MS it is 2 to 3 years based on the research. Similarly, PhD 3 to 5 years based on the research. Whereas in MTech it is 2-year course because that is credit based 4 semester course as already explained, right? So this is the reason for MTech higher GATE score is required. For MS some moderate GATE score is okay. Then you have to attend the test and interview. Similarly for PhD also, right? As Sai Chandu explained that there is a provision of converting your MTech into PhD after the first year. So the criteria is you should have CGPA of 8 and above after first year. So there is a detailed video about difference between MTech and MS we have already uploaded on the YouTube. If you want to know the difference between MTech and MS, you can just watch that video. Link is given in the description. Okay, so these are the research area. So student can choose the research area from these specialization: aerospace structure, aerospace propulsion, aerodynamics and flight mechanics. And research topics under structures are finite element and numerical method, composite structure, fatigue and fracture mechanics, contact mechanics, vibration and impact mechanics, multifunctional material, multi-scale modeling. So you can just see the topics and then you can approach the faculty for guide. Similarly for aerospace propulsion, rocket propulsion, solid propellant combustion, air breathing propulsion and combustion, multi-phase flow simulation, combustion instability, optical flow, combustion diagnostics, cascade flow, high fidelity CFD in turbo machinery. So these are the research topic in aerospace propulsion research area. So Sai Chandu is doing MTech in aerodynamic specialization. So he will be telling us about this.
Yes, sir. So in terms of aerodynamics, there are a lot of facilities here. So some of them include, there is a lab called the Rarefied Gas Dynamics Lab that houses a lot of equipment such as your shock tunnel, shock tube, and your transonic wind tunnels. And there is a lot of numerical work also that goes on here. Again, you can always classify the research work into numerical experiment. So a lot of numerical work also goes on. There are various centers of excellences where a lot of numerical and experimental work is going on in the institute as we speak. So in aerodynamics, there are a lot of professors who work in solely developing numerical cores for solving various problems. And there are also dedicatedly experimental works that goes on in the institute here. So as you can see, there is, as I said, the RGD lab houses various supersonic, transonic wind tunnels. It has shock tubes, where shock tube or shock tunnels where you simulate hypersonic velocities. And then you have numerical methods in computational fluid dynamics, vortex dynamics, and a lot of work goes on in this region. And apart from this, there's also a lot of work going on in control and dynamics. So there are labs dedicatedly for UAV development and other systems that complement it.
Right. So again, coming to that benefit of IIT Madras, that you can, after taking admission, after first year or even after the first semester, you can decide your research areas. Right. You will get a bit time to think about this, that what is your interest after studying, covering the coursework in first semester, and then you can approach the faculty as per your interest. Right. Now coming to the student intake. So student intake for aerospace engineering. So as Sai Chandu explained that there are two kinds of seat, with STTA scholarship and without STTA scholarship. That is half-time teaching assistantship. So with STTA scholarship, you will get the MHRD scholarship of 12,400 per month, and without STTA scholarship, you won't get that scholarship. So there are total 15 seats with STTA scholarship and 28 seats without STTA scholarship. So Sai Chandu, well, actually during my time there were less seats. This much seats were not there. When I was studying at IIT Madras at that time, total 24 seats were there. Out of that, 12 were from sponsored companies or organization like DRDO, ISRO, and remaining 12 were from different background. Like 6 seats were given to the aerospace engineering people and 6 to the different specialization like mechanical, civil background people. So there were only 6 seats, and that time there was huge competition to get into IIT Madras, especially among the Aeronautical Society of India student. So out of that 6 seats also, only 3 seats were available for general category students. So there were very less seat at that time, but now they have, I can see here, they have increased the number of seats, and especially I think they have increased the seats in without STTA scholarship, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So again, as sir said, within HTTA, the situation is still mostly the same. With I guess the seats for general from aerospace last year was around 4 or 5 seats, and the rest were given to other disciplines like mechanical and other branches.
Okay, still it is same only.
With
Okay.
HTTA last year, I guess there were around only 5 seats for general aerospace, but non-HTTA there's more. So that's
Okay.
where they have really expanded, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So again, but in general, only difference is the stipend, the courses that you're going to attend, the professors that are going to teach you, the coursework that you're going to go to, everything will be same. So the only difference will be the scholarship that you're going to get and the TA duty that you're supposed to do. Uh, and and I think looking at the trend, I guess next year we can expect more number of seats in both STTA and non-STTA, given the demand for aerospace engineers in general.
Okay. So even if someone is taking the admission in this seat that is without STTA scholarship, and later on if there is vacant seat in STTA scholarship seat, then you may get stipend also. Your seat will get converted into STTA scholarship seat also.
I think so, sir, because I guess last year, I guess in the brochure or somewhere, I remember reading it that it was written that it is not guaranteed, but if there is a vacancy and given the certain conditions by the institute and the department, if they are met, then a student may be eligible to upgrade to STTA scholarship. Like if a student from the STTA category drops out and there's a vacancy, I think there is a provision for that. I
Provision.
remember reading it in the brochure, but
Okay.
it's always good to see the updated brochures. That is, I guess 2024 brochure will be up on the site once they start the admissions.
During my MTech, there was one person in our batch from mechanical engineering background who got admission in non-STTA seats in aerospace engineering, and after first semester his seat was got converted to STTA and he started getting stipend. So there is a provision for it. Okay, so this year in MS also there are total 22 seats, and for PhD there are total 24 seats. So this is with STRA scholarship, that is half-time research assistantship. Now coming to the cutoff. So these are the cutoff for aerospace engineering. So last year cutoff with STTA scholarship for general category was 746 for OBC, 686 for SC category, 393 for ST, 260 for EWS, 522. Similarly, for without STTA scholarship, last year cutoff was 589 for general, 446 for OBC, 295 for SC, 278 for ST, and 322 for EWS category. So you can see that without STTA scholarship, top score is less as compared to the with STTA scholarship. So these are the trend, and here you can see the cutoff for 2022, 2021, and 2020 also. So in my time also, like for general category, the cutoff was very high, but at that time
Yes.
there were lots of Aeronautical Society of India students who used to aim the IIT Chennai. So minimum cutoff was very high at that time. So now it is 746.
Yes. So if anyone is really aiming for IIT Madras Aerospace, and general category student HBS scholarship, then a score of 750 plus is probably a safe, to be on the safe side. 750 plus is what is uh, a safe enough score to get into IIT Madras. But again, as I said, if HTT is not your preference and given because of something that happened during the exam, you might end up with a lower gate score, then without HTT also you will be getting the same quality of education in the same excellent professors here. So yeah.
Okay, now coming to the lab facility which you will get at IITM for in different specialization like aerodynamics and flight mechanics department, aerospace propulsion department, and aerospace structure department. So like Sai Chandu will explain us about the
Yeah.
lab facility at IIT Madras.
Yes. So I'll go about this in three different ones. First, I'll talk about aerodynamics labs. As I said, there is a facility called the Rarefied Gas Dynamics Lab, which houses various equipment such as your shock tunnel, combustion-driven shock tunnel, your shock tube, transonic wind tunnels, supersonic wind tunnels, and all these things. So the facilities that you can see are actually the ones that you will work on in your first semester laboratory course, which is aerodynamics laboratory. So during that, you will be actually working or you'll be performing experiments on all these facilities like your shock tunnel, shock tube, transonic wind tunnels, and supersonic wind tunnels. So it's not just that only if you have aerodynamic specialization, then only you have access to these facilities. As a part of your coursework, you still can, learn about how these things work and all that. And coming to the propulsion part of it, so there's a facility called NCCRD, National Center for Combustion Research and Development. So that houses a lot of research facilities inside it. So that includes microgravity combustion research, and then there is a center of excellence for critical transitions and complex systems, in which research goes on combustion instabilities and climate change. So, and there is another center of excellence on geophysical flows. So, all in all, the research that goes on here ranges all the way from what you are generally familiar with, like combustion aerodynamics, and all the way to climate change and geophysical flows that are, again, on the outset, these are fluid flow problems and such, but they are much more complex in nature and all that. So, and coming to the structures lab, structures is generally divided into two parts. One is your structures lab and the other one is your composites lab. Structures is where largely all the metallics research goes on, and in composites lab, a lot of research goes on in your glass fibers, carbon fibers, Kevlar, 3D printing, and all this. And with respect to flight mechanics and aircraft design, there are a couple of labs on dedicated for UAV design and their development. Even they have small 3D printers and other equipment. So all in all, the facilities here are very, like, they are of very wide range. They almost cover all your critical departments or the critical ones of your aerospace. So that's about the lab facilities. And again, with respect to structures lab also, the composites and the structures lab that I told about, you'll be getting hands-on experiments, you'll be performing hands-on experiments during your second semester laboratory course in the structures laboratory. So yeah, so these are the two labs that you will get to work on.
Okay, Sai Chandu, now coming to the placement part, that is placement at IIT Madras. So these are few companies which used to come for recruitment. So in my time also, this Airbus, Colin Aerospace, Honeywell, GE, Rolls-Royce, Eaton, General Motor, MathWorks, Caterpillar, this company used to come. And nowadays, I'm hearing that there are few good startup company also coming for the recruitment at IIT Madras. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, yes. So recently, placement I was concluded in December. Actually, placements were happening when there was cyclone here. So, uh, so I, from the information that I have, there are companies like Agnikul recruiting from here, and then there are other companies such as Honda R&D recruiting from here. Of course, Agnikul is recruiting purely for our like for the propulsion and or the control dynamics, whatever verticals they have, and Honda is recruiting for their R&D.
Okay. Okay, now coming to the suggestions part, there are certain skills and fundamental conceptual knowledge which will be helpful for the students during coursework and in placement too. So any suggestion from your side?
Yes, sir. So I'll divide this into skills and subject fundamentals. So first, going with the subject fundamentals, first thing is you should be really good at math. By math, what I mean by math is good fundamentals in calculus, tensor calculus, and generally, if you are already familiarized with index notations during your BTech, it's good. But if you are not, do get a bit comfortable with index notations because largely a lot of uh, be it structures courses or fluent courses, people prefer index notations as it is simpler. So getting yourself familiarized with index notations will help during your coursework. Apart from this, you're generally the strong fundamentals in differential equations, ordinary differential equations, partial differential equations, Fourier transforms and Laplace transforms and all this. These all these actually are foundation to any sort of scientific analysis that you're going to study here. So having mathematics is largely you're going to cover in your BTech and after if you're preparing for GATE. So aside from that would be index notations, which you probably won't encounter during your BTech. If already encountered, then it's well and good. If not, try getting familiarized with it.
Tensor notation you are talking about, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So in BTech, we usually we don't study that except in structure. Some part is there. That is when we define the stress,
Yes.
right? So stress is also a tensor quantity. So Sai Chandu is talking about that tensor notation. So if possible, after GATE exam, you can just get familiarized with tensor notations. Also, it will be helpful for you when you get into IIT.
Yes. So yeah, as sir said, generally we define stress as a tensor quantity, but in general it's a second order tensor. That's what. So first order tensor is a vector and zero order tensor is a scalar. So that's where it comes. And another thing, what I feel is will really be helpful is like having a physical intuition for things or the equations that you study, having a physical intuition for them as to what the terms mean, what every term means in that particular equation. So building that really helps you grasp things very quickly or kind of visualize what's happening on the board. Because when the right equations on the board, it's just an equation, but understanding or having a physical intuition for that will really help you, get a good knowledge of the subject or get good understanding of the subject. So that's one of the things. And with respect to skills, of course, programming is one central one. Look at it as a tool that helps you solve problems. So primarily it's MATLAB. Uh, and in terms of programming languages, if you're new, start off with Python. And a lot of people like me and other my friends here who have come here, and when we came here, we didn't have such a good background in programming. But again, you start to build off slowly. So Python is something that a lot of people recommend when you start off with. So once you get comfortable with that, you can of course learn other programming languages also if you're interested. Then other one is a good knowledge or a hands-on experience on a design software would also help. Again, this is largely based on what sort of project you're going to do, but having such a skill is always handy. And apart from this, if you can learn LaTeX, it's a document writing interface, or it's like Word only, but a bit different, a lot different than Word actually. So a lot of it's simpler to write once you start writing very big reports and stuff. It's simpler to write in LaTeX than in Word. So learn, try to learn LaTeX also will be helpful. And other thing is once you join in IIT Madras or any IIT, I think the coursework will be very hectic. There will be times where it will be very difficult to follow up, but it's always important to trust your strong fundamentals and just build on that. And yeah, and I think if you are studying from Gate Aerospace Academy, I guess they already build you with good strong fundamentals, as in my case it is. So as I said, the physical intuition, it started off from attending lectures here and then it just built on from there on. So if you're attending from here, you're already starting off with strong fundamentals. Again, from there on, it's all about strengthening them and moving forward. Yeah. So that's about the suggestions I, anything you want to give, sir?
So learning these softwares and programming language will help the student in two ways. First of all, it is helpful in placements also. And second thing is, as you already told that you are getting lots of assignment from the department. So to do that assignment, we need to have the knowledge of these design softwares and some programming skills also, or at least MATLAB, where we can plot the graph of various functions, which we have to do in lots of assignments. So learning these things are going to help the students in two ways, in placement as well as in their coursework and project work also.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. Okay, right, Chandu. So thank you so much for joining with us.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
For regular updates related to the job notifications, admission notification, and related to GATE exam, you can follow us on these social media platforms.